Hello and welcome to the video presented by Simplified Solutions, LLC. We will be showing the Infor Visual ERP shop floor modules. Shop floor functionality begins with the scheduling module. Then you could add on additional pieces including labor, materials. In the final module, the work in process functionality, where you're able to track inventory moves throughout the shop. We're going to begin by looking at the scheduling module. To demonstrate scheduling, I'd like to begin by showing the visual job shop process for scheduling. So consider this: going into the scheduling application, I can come down and demonstrate the shop view. And here's an example of the shop view inside of my visual job shop database. And I can also focus to a resource inside of the scheduling module, and I can actually see for that schedule what is going to be needed to be done against that operation. So I'm going to take that similar process and go over to visual shop floor. And inside of shop floor, I'll look at the preference maintenance. Inside of preference maintenance, I'm going to be able to make a shop view selection, and I will go through, and I could also use an operation type or a resource group. The operation types are going to be similar to your operation templates. For my comparison, I will continue to use a shop view. Pressing the schedule module icon and looking at the first screen, it's more of a summary view of that schedule. Working my way down the list, you can see I can focus on a certain operation, and I'll go into the engineering operation. When I first get into the window, I will notice what has been completed and also what may have been deviated as far as quantities for the operation today. And I can see the work orders that need to be completed in that current list. And on the right hand side, I have flags, and it will show you the operations that are late, whether or not there are materials for that current operation, and if they're running late or not, or on time, and whether the previous operation supply is available for you, as well as labor for the operations. The first work order has an employee logged in, where the second work order does not. You'll also notice another icon on the second order indicating that there is a document attachment included. I can also look at where finish dates are going to be later than want dates for the work order, and an icon will represent those that will be late. Users can now also identify operations that need priority. You'll notice down here there's an icon for the priority, and here's where you can set it inside of shop floor, and you can also set it inside of the manufacturing window. Another feature of the shop floor scheduling is the ability to modify or dispatch the order of the operation. So as I pointed out, I did say that I have this operation that I want to make a priority. I can move it to the top of the list. I don't need to have the priority set, but I'm deciding that I want to move that to the top of my list, and I'll visibly move it up to the top. I'll submit it, and you can see on the left hand side it gives me notification, or the dots identify that I have modified my schedule past what was originally scheduled. I'm going to go back into preference maintenance and display that there are many more options. I want to focus on the show available only and what that will give us when we move over to the scheduling window. You'll notice that several operations have disappeared from my current view, and I've been able to filter it down to just a couple in this one operation. So you can see I'm looking for available quantity from product that is being produced before this operation. While I'm in the operation view, I just want to take you to show you some of the drill down features. We're looking at a detail view at this point, and you'll notice that other tabs are now available to me. So I'm going to go to the operation example, and I'm looking at the one work order, and I can see the details. Now that I've showed you a user that only has the scheduling options, I'm going to go in and show you a user that has all of the options, including labor and materials. Here I'm looking at the scheduling window again, and I'm drilling down to the operation schedule. And look at all of the additional options that I have to be able to work with inside of this window. Focusing on the material, I'll drill down to the next screen and I can see all the materials for that operation. The next feature that I'll display is related to labor when using the scheduling window. I'm selecting my employee, and here you'll notice I have a check mark on the left-hand side. I'm going to go in and actually start 3 labor tickets for the same employee. I can also do a stop job for all 3 jobs at the same time with this dialog. So using the scheduling window, I have multiple opportunities to go through and report the labor as needed. Now let's move over and look at the labor application. You'll notice that the first 7 icons are going to be standard labor type operations that you would typically do with a barcode station. The labor application includes tools, for example, labor by work order, job search, my labor, and employees clocked in. Getting into something like employees clocked in can open up some of the other tools. Let's explore this a little bit further. Here you'll notice that I can show more details, and this is where I would select to show checked in employees only. So I can see the labor down below showing me all of my currently clocked in employees. I can drill down even further and take a look at that one employee that we just entered 3 labor tickets for. I can look at the efficiency. You'll notice that there's label printing capabilities, as well as details. I can get into a larger detail section for labor, and I can also look at any document attachments or any additional labor details. Next, we can look at work order materials. Inside of this dialog, you will see functionality that you would have inside of inventory transaction entry, including issue to work orders, receipt from work orders, returns, as well as adjust in and adjust out capabilities. In this dialog is where I will go through and also set scanning mode for barcode. Let's explore the issue by work order functionality. Inside of this window, I can filter down by part ID, and I can also do it by resource ID. So I'll do that in this case. I'll select one of my resources and filter it down a little bit further. As you can see, we'll look at that one operation underneath the work order, and I can issue all the materials to that operation. I can use the issue all functionality that exists here. And if you ever need to do a complete return or work on multiple returns, you can set that up here in the issue by work order dialog. There are also flags that'll tell you where product is running late. Other applications that exist for material would be location to location, which is transfer. You have work order transaction history. You can do a part lookup, as well as do your print label functionality. The material applications also include a purchasing module where you're able to go in and do receipt returns. You can review PO lines due, as well as PO lines received. I'm going to drill into the PO lines due, and here you'll notice the date range that you can put in, and you can see the output in the lower grid. The shipping modules are also included with materials. You can do shipping or returns. I'm going into shipping, and notice that you can do a ship all, or you can enter the quantities one at a time, or you can come over here and work with piece tracking. A physical inventory module is also available when you are using materials. This includes all of the functionality that you would get in the visual side, entering counts, doing recounts, and printing labels. The last shop floor module I will be demonstrating is the WIP inventory move applications. The main functionality includes move requests creation, as well as a material handler's queue for moving materials. For WIP tracking, I'm showing 2 employees reviewing the material handler's queue.
The basic process for the move is so that employees can create a move request anytime materials need to be moved throughout the shop floor. Once the move is prepared or the materials are prepared, we set the status to ready for pickup, and that will display here in the material handler's queue. Further, they can sort and review the queue as needed. The material handler can pick up the materials. The status can change to be picked up. Further, the handler can deliver the parts to wherever the next destination may be. All of this information is available to them from the material request. And once it's done, you can set the status to deliver. History can be saved for future analysis or can be removed. Keep in mind that the history is not going to impact inventory balance, purely showing you the moves throughout the shop floor. It will show you the status of where your move requests are within the shop, how it's supposed to be moved, and when it's supposed to be moved throughout the shop. A similar display exists inside of Visual when you have the whip tracking module.
For further information and more configuration information, I would recommend the shop floor video series from Infor Visual. It includes these 5 videos. You can find the videos underneath the help menu. Inside a video library, I've highlighted the 5 videos that are inclusive, as well as just highlighting the last video created for the whip inventory tracking. Thank you for watching this video on Infor ERP shop floor modules, presented by Simplify Solutions LLC.